Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. I'm GetGoodGuy, and today I'm continuing my coverage of the weapon crate update with a review of the M1917 Enfield Silenced. And as with my previous weapon crate update reviews, which I'll link to in the description if you haven't seen them yet, I'll be focusing upon the basics of the weapon and my personal opinion more so than usual. This is because Simptic.com, where I and many others usually get the detailed stats for the weapons, haven't yet added the new ones. Plus, any stats I do give are taken from the Enfield infantry, so take them with a pinch of salt, as we aren't sure how or if the silencer affects the weapon's performance. So with that all said, let's get into this. And we should probably start with the range of this weapon. Well, it appears to be equal to that of the M1903 sniper, able to one-shot kill to the chest from 98 meters out up to around 140 to 150 odd meters. This makes the Enfield Silenced a very long-range scout option, and lining up shots at range will feel quite familiar to some, as if it isn't affected by the silencer, please keep that assumption in mind, the muzzle velocity of the Enfield Silenced is equal to that of the M1903 as well, and in fact the Russian 1895 sniper standing at 820 meters per second. This is a fast travel time overall, although it does fall behind that of the Gewehr 98 with a super quick 880 meters per second. And with this information now at your disposal, you may ask why and when you'd want to select the Enfield Silenced over the M1903 sniper. Well, there are some subtle differences. Again, we're using the Enfield infantry stats here, but if they aren't significantly changed, then the Enfield has a faster rate of fire, standing at 60 rounds per minute. The M1903 only manages 53. Plus, the Russian and the Gewehr 98 are both slower in this department as well, with stats of 56 and 50 RPM respectively. Add to this that the Enfield also has better recoil and spread decrease stats than its competitors, and it makes for a weapon that's easier to fire more rapidly, which ties in nicely with its native faster rate of fire. But it's not all positives. I did notice a strange issue from time to time with trying to aim down sight after reloading and having nothing happen. Well, it turns out that the Enfield has a very long post-reload delay, with a stat of 1.433 seconds. By comparison, the M1903 has a stat of 0.7, so it's more than twice as fast to respond than the Enfield in this department. This isn't too big a deal, but it can throw your timing off if your muscle memory is used to scoping in straight after a reload. And the reload itself is a little longer than that of its competitors, but it's nothing too crazy in all honesty. So now, what about less stat-based features? Well, the Enfield Silenced obviously has a silencer on it. This is a novel change and does make it feel a little different to use when compared with other scout options. Although I didn't find it to be too big a difference practically in gameplay terms, it will help you to be somewhat less noticeable to enemies on occasions due to making less noise and somewhat negating muzzle flash, I believe. So if you like to sit and camp somewhere, then it may be a good option for you. But again, it didn't alter things too much for me personally. And having this silencer means that the weapon doesn't have a bipod or a bayonet. Some of you will be bothered by this, others won't. It comes down to personal preference. The big one for me though is it's just nice to be able to use an Enfield variant that I can aim properly with. I'm one of those players who just can't see through the Enfield infantry sights, so the silenced variant is a super refreshing change for me. Although you may have noticed in the footage that I've used two different optics, I don't believe I've ever done this before, and it's born out of hit registration issues or just difficulty lining up the target. For some reason with the cross reticle, which I always use, I felt like I was either shooting through the target or missing by a minuscule amount. It was kind of an odd feeling, and yet when I switched to the beam reticle, a lot of my problems were solved. I am not sure why, it may all be in my head, but I thought I'd just explain that so you guys are aware why I've used two different options. And then also on top of that, if you're interested, this footage has all shown me using the 5x magnification scope. And so, that's the Enfield Silenced. I think it's a good weapon with a cool unique feature. It'll suit some people very well, but for most, it's just another nice option to have rather than being any kind of game changer. But this is all just my opinion. What do you think? Are you excited about the Enfield Silenced, and will it take the place of your go-to scout weapon from time to time? Let me know in the comment section below. Now let's go over to the Board of Awesome for the fantastic people who allow you to get content from me full-time by supporting the channel on Patreon. It just wouldn't be possible for me to do this every day without their support. So thanks to everyone on here. If you want to join them on the Board of Awesome, then the link to the Patreon page is in the description and my pinned comment. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos, including the remaining weapon crate update reviews, and feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I'm GetGoodGuy, and I'll see you next time. Laters.